The 417Gamers is a group of board, tabletop, and card gamers in the 417 area code. This is the podcast. Welcome to the 417 Gamer Podcast, episode 36, the one with Matt and Windmill Valley. In the 4, Andrea and I discuss 4 events that we're looking forward to in the 417 area. In our one topic of the show, we review the action selection game Windmill Valley. And in the 7, Matt comes back on from episode 35 to talk about and answer the 7 questions of the 417 Gamer Podcast. Let's get on with the show. Welcome to the 417 Gamer Podcast. My name's Rick.
And I'm Andrea.
In the 4, we like to talk about, Andrea?
4 things we're either looking forward to or have enjoyed in the 417 area.
Yeah. We've been enjoying and are looking forward to lots of stuff.
Many things.
What are you looking forward to, or what have you enjoyed?
Well, March 27th at the Blue Room Comedy Club is going to be Magic for Adults.
Okay.
By Eric Eaton.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know what this is? I have no idea. They have got my ticket just by the name of the event. It is an adults-only comedy show, it says. Eric Eaton is the Comedy Magician of the Year and a 2-time Merlin Award-winning magician. His illusions have garnered over 100 million views. Yeah. So, sounds pretty exciting and entertaining.
It does sound exciting. I mean, we've already seen a couple comedians there. Mm-hmm. We also saw a couple spoken word tours like McFoley, and there was somebody else that I'm not... But we've had good times every time. Yeah,
I've really enjoyed every trip we've made to the
good facility, decent food, good drinks.
Yeah.
We went and saw Reed Timmer at the Nixa ATO Center in Nixa, Missouri. Reed Timmer is an extreme storm chaser. You might have seen him on Storm Chasers on Discovery Channel. He was there on season 2 and further. He was the Dominator crew. Yeah. He brought his Dominator 3 vehicle out to show off. And it was about, an hour and a half, 2-hour presentation?
Mm-hmm. Basically covered his entire storm chasing career and things that they've been able to accomplish with their science findings.
Yeah, and there was videos of some of his favorite chases, and then he would split it with hard data. He would really show you, so if you're a science nerd and you understood what he was talking about... And the mesocyclones, and here's a whole bunch of data sets.
Yeah, there were a lot of storm chasers in the audience, a few meteorologists. He does have a PhD in meteorology.
He's very, very smart with his weathers. Mm-hmm. And he broke it up, I thought, appropriately. Right where the normal people were glazing over with his data sets, then he'd jump into another video. I'm like, all right, now here is where I had a rental car, and now they don't rental me anymore.
It was great. I'm so glad we went.
Yeah, it was a great time. We picked up tickets for family for Christmas, and we went with them. Mm-hmm. And I think they had a great time. I know I did.
Absolutely.
Andrea, what else you got?
We are going to be attending OzCon April 25th through the 27th at the West Plains Civic Center. We make it down every year.
Yeah, we do. CJ does a great job.
It's fantastic little, in addition to the normal Comic-Con style events with the costume contest, vendors, and such.
Do we know any of the guests?
I do not at this time.
Gotcha. It's always a good time. He always has some decent guests. Last year, I think he had one of the best flows with his floor plan. It's a big convention center, and sometimes when you lay out your vendor booth spaces, you have an idea what looks good on paper, but doesn't apply well. I know I've done that. But last year, I thought everything really flowed. You could get to things. The staff's always great. They always point you in the right direction and everything. But looking forward to seeing what OzCon does this year.
And it is a not-for-profit event. All the proceeds go to Always a Future for Kids.
All right. Last but not least, the Metagames Flea Market happens the very last Saturday of this month, which is going to be, I think it's the 29th. But Metagames Unlimited is our friendly local game store. And once a year, they do their little flea market where you rent a table and you bring your games that you're not getting to the table and try and maybe get some money out of them to then, spend right there at the store.
Yeah.
Or if you're there early enough, there's also a lot of wheeling and dealing in trades. You might have just spent $30 to swap all the stuff you have for other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not interested in having a table to sell, come and buy.
Yeah, so Metagames Unlimited is just off of Chestnut and not Chestnut. It's off Sunshine and 65.
Well, it always has been.
Yeah, right across from the Wendy's.
And we'll be at table 3.
Yeah, we will.
Come see us.
That was the 4 and the 417, Andrea. What do you think we should do next?
The 1. All
right, let's do the 1 topic of the show.
Greetings from the Moon City. Mark your calendars. Badge sales kick off February 28th, 2025. Badge pricing, standard badges are $60. Expansion packs. Hey, we've only got 20 expansion packs, featuring exclusive perks such as a limited edition t-shirt, admission to our fall harvest game day, and more to be announced before launch. Get ready for an unforgettable weekend of gaming, friends, and fun. See you at Moon City Con 2025 for Meeple Kind.
The 1 topic of the show is a review of a game. We are going to talk about the competitive windmill building, action selection, multi-use cards, network and route building game Windmill Valley. There's a lot of game in this thing.
There really is.
This is designed by Danny Garcia, and ours is published by Board and Dice Games. This was my favorite game of 2024, so that's probably going to spoil a little bit of this.
Yes.
But then again, I'm also kind of picky on certain little details.
Of course.
In Windmill Valley, here's their little their little write-up on it. It's the late 19th century, and more than 9,000 windmills dot the landscape of the Netherlands. Some of them purposefully built to dry the lowlands, called polders. In the polders between the windmills are fields filled with colorful tulips. The flower that once was a part of the turbulent history of the first financial bubble, but is now simply a quintessential part of the Dutch landscape, especially on the famous Bloemen route or flower route. In Windmill Valley, a game inspired by the Bloemen route, you and up to 3 players take on the role of tulip farmers and entrepreneurs. You will build and enhance your windmills, look for new tulip bulbs in foreign trades or among local vendors to buy and plant, and try and get an edge with hired help and lucrative contracts. Let your blooming fields make your competitors green with envy. So, the game centers around, you have a player board that has 2 windmills that kind of look like cogs. Mm-hmm. And one has 6 action wheel spaces, the other one has 5. When you start the game, your 6 windmill space, you turn it to the red mark to where on the top of the board there's an arrow, and then the red mark on the other one. They have Chicago screws that secure these 2 windmill spaces to your player board, and they rotate. Mm-hmm. And the cogs have teeth that interchange that they rotate at the same time. You have, on your turn, you can pick the right or the left whenever you start. And there's different actions. There's upgrade a windmill. There's go to the market to where you can buy and or plant tulips. There is go to foreign trade. Mm-hmm. There is go secure contracts. And then there's also, you can lower the water levels. But on your turn, you go through 4 actions. First, you check the water levels. You can raise or level you can either raise the floodgates to flood the plain. Mm-hmm. Then you check the plain, and that depends on how many spaces your windmill wheels will turn, because the water's rushing through, and that's what they use to turn the windmills, the water wheels. Then you look at your action spaces on your windmill, and you choose one of them usually, although through upgrades you might be able to do both. Mm-hmm. Take that action, and then points. But there's a red line on the big 6-space action wheel. Whenever it rotates and crosses, the next time it crosses, you have completed a calendar year.
Yeah.
and you play through until somebody hits the 4th calendar year, and then you finish out that turn, and everybody gets one more turn.
Mm-hmm.
And then you score it up, and whoever has the most points wins. So, whenever we review a game, we review through 5 criteria. We look at the components in the rulebook. We look at presentation. We look at gameplay. We look at the theme. And then the it factor. How much do we really want to play that sucker? We divide by how many points were possible, and that's our grade. Andrea, we start off with presentation.
I think presentation is pretty nice on this game, especially your individual player board. I don't know that it's kind of hard to visualize, but those 2 cogs and the interlocking pieces, as you spin them, they turn. And because there's 6 on one side and 5 on the other, you never match up the same 2 because you get to take an action from one side of the wheel or the other. So you have a different choice every time you go around. So when it's laid out, that and the actual board itself combined, it's got some pretty good table presence.
That and the box art itself is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
It's a flowing valley of tulips. It really pops not only on our game shelf, but on the retail shelf as well. I hate to say it, that when it first hit our local game store, I looked at it and I kind of dismissed it because of its theme.
Mm-hmm.
It's like planting flowers, and lately, for the last year or two, there's been so many planting and various
botanical
themed things that I kind of, dismissed it. And
sure.
Before we picked this up, I hadn't played anything from Danny Garcia, and we still have one in shrink on our pile of possibilities, shall we say?
Yeah.
Arborea. And Arborea, we've been told we have to play, and we're going to get to it eventually. But I hadn't played that, so it was hard for me to go ahead and pick this up at that time.
Sure.
But then I kept on... I saw a quick overview little video that showed them turning the wheels. I'm like, ooh, that's kind of a cool little thing. Okay, I like that. And I looked at some more of the art. I like that. So then I ended up picking it up. We played it quite a few times there right at the very end of the year. And presentation-wise, I really like it. The wheels look intriguing.
Yeah.
The board looks nice.
Yeah, I give it a 4.25 there.
I'm giving it a 4.3, so yeah, I'm pretty darn close with you. Components of rulebook. This was one of the reasons why not reasons, but this was right up there on my New Year's resolution to read more of my rulebooks. This is a really easy one to go through, set up, learn. We still watched a video to make sure that after I read it that I was, pretty on par with what we thought it was.
Right.
But, and the components, it's nice thick cardboard. Even the little tulips, they're thick cardboard pieces. We've tossed them around and handed them back and forth, and I think we're at like 5 or 6 plays of the game. We played 2 or 3 times before the end of the year, and we've played 2 times this year. So, and nothing seems grimy or grubby or anything like that yet.
No.
Cards are nice quality, nice art. The only thing I would do a little quibble on, and that's the cards have names. And when you go to the back of the rulebook to see what the iconography on the cards means, you have to find their name instead of just numbering them. This person's 32. And you can name on the card too, but I feel like it would have been so much easier if they would have just put the number in the back of the rulebook, so you're just trying to find the number, and then you can... That's a slight little quibble on it.
Sure.
Rulebook's nice. Components are nice.
I like the
player board you put
iconography.
Together with those Chicago screws that lets the dials turn.
Yeah.
Those are nice. For a Euro components and rulebook, I'm putting this at a 4.2. Yeah, let's just go 4.2.
Okay, I was going to go 4.0.
4.0. Gameplay. Gameplay is where this thing sings.
Yeah.
I love the action wheel. I like the market. So if you ever go to the market, depending on how many... Your initial action on the wheel tells you can pay money to take 2 market actions. Your disc will go to the next market stall, and depending on how many discs are including that one, tells you how many actions you can take.
Right.
But it's all the same. So you could be in a stall that would either let you buy a dark purple or buy a white tulip or plant a yellow, plant a red.
Yeah.
And it's all three. You can't split that up.
Right.
You have a little storage on your player board, on your field, and your first 4 or 5 are free, but your last 2 or 3 spaces you have to pay for the extra storage, which is one of those push-pulls, and
yeah,
you're like, do I really have to? Yeah, you do. But, so that was the first one, and then you move the disc to the next section, and you get to do it again. The buying is 2 spaces away from the next plant of that color. So
you can plan ahead.
You can plan ahead, but you will not be able to, on that turn, to be able to buy something, go to the next stall, and plant.
Right.
The only action that I didn't do a whole lot, and that's just me not utilizing enough, is the foreign trade. There's a card on the board that has 4 little actions, mini actions tied to it. And then if you take a color of the tulip bulb that is not currently on that foreign action board, you put it there, and the 2 actions it straddles, you get to take those 2 mini actions. Could be getting another contract, could be doing a plant action, could be taking a free market action, could be lowering a water level. The water level is something we haven't talked about. Whenever you first start, the water wheels are either going, you either up them to 0, 1, or 2. And if you go at 0, they're not moving, but your wheels will move 1 space. If you up them, you will increase the floodplain. There's a floodplain marker that denotes how flooded that plane is. But you go up the next space, your wheel will turn an extra space. But you'll have to pay, and you'll get a victory point for doing so. And if you go up another space, your wheel will turn an extra space, so 3 spaces. You have to pay for that movement, and you'll get more points for that. It's a way for you to turn into the action you want to take. It also increases or shortens the life of the game, because the quicker you get to that red line on your action space, the quicker you're going to end your year and continue the game forward. Whenever you take lower the water level, you're lowering the floodplain, and you get victory points or money depending on where it is and what you want to take. It's nice, and there are times that are more beneficial to do that than others. You can always lower the floodplain, even if it's at 0, just to get $1.
Yeah.
It's inefficient, but it is there if you're just poor.
Because you need the monies.
You do need the money sometimes. But the action I enjoy the most is upgrading your windmill. You go to a spot, you have common windmill spots that don't charge you anything. You put them in there. They're slightly upgraded from what you're doing. You have the uncommon, which are silver, and those cost you $1. And then you have the premium, which are like gold, and those cost $2. And some of those allow you, they have a plus symbol on them that tells you can take both the action across from it and itself, and it's kind of like a double action. And sometimes you can combo stuff into taking, almost feels like some of the rolling rights.
Yeah.
You combo this to get an extra action to get this, to get this. And when you're playing on your field board, you're covering up the tulips, and those can offer you a slight little bonus action or something like that. The aha moments on whenever you're tackling those is very nice.
Yeah.
Another action I haven't talked about is you also are putting out little windmills on the board. There's a player board, and whenever you take that action on your windmill, on your water wheels, you go out there and you place it. Everybody, if you're right there adjacent to the market, nobody gets anything. But as you're playing those out, you can place yours 1 space away from anybody that's already played. You place it, and there's fields that have different actions tied to them. Pick up some bulbs for free, take a market action, get a contract, lower water levels, plant, When you do that, you trace the path back to the market, the shortest path. Anybody that's in the path, they get victory points.
Yeah.
Because they helped, plow through those fields to get you to where you could go.
Yeah.
They walked so you could run. And I'm meandering and rambling on this, but I really like the gameplay.
I'm going to give it a 4.5 on gameplay.
I'm giving it 4.75.
Really?
I love this gameplay. And it's very much probably off of the novelty of the water wheels. Mm-hmm. Catherine in our group got me into rondelles, where you have the round action where you want to take it and you can go as far as you want, but you can't go back. Mm-hmm. And this is very much that, because you can go far. So your wheel has to go at least one space. It can go up to 4.
Right.
And if it's going further, you usually get more points to go farther. But at the same time, you're also potentially missing out on some actions that could help set you up. Mm-hmm. I really like... I'm taking myself down to 4.7. 4.7. There's probably stuff that I like better. But I really like this. Yeah. Theme. Andrea, what do you like about the theme?
I do like the theme. It's a cute little windmill Dutch where you're planting tulips. I like that it all works together really well. You have your, like you said, your water wheel where you're irrigating your flowers, and then you have your collect your bulbs. Plant your bulbs is another action. And then you have it's a big board where you have routes that go through different fields of different colored tulips where you harvest bulbs. So I think theme and the windmill and everything fits really well together.
Yeah. I think the theme is well placed in here, but I don't really... I'm not the most planty and flowery person.
I am, so I like it.
So the theme for me is fine. It's there. And I don't know how you would change these mechanics to do a different theme.
No, you could, do any kind of flowers.
But for me, I'm so much on the gameplay. The theme, I'm like, it's there.
Agreed.
And I'm a gameplay first person, so this game sings with me on gameplay. And on theme, it's okay. So I'm a 3.7 on the theme.
I was going to say 3.75.
Really? Mm-hmm. I thought I was kind of being chintzy on a 3.7. But I think that's because my gameplay is so high. You know what? You've talked me down to a 3.5. 3.5 on theme. Because I feel like I should be under yours. Because you like the theme way more than I do.
Sure.
Yep, 3.5 on theme.
All right.
It feels right-ish. Then we get to Ed Factor. How much do you want to play this game over all the other games? Windmill Valley, I insisted this be on our 10 for 10. Mm-hmm. I really wanted to dive into this. And I was reading on the Board Game Geeks that there are plans for an expansion this year.
Ooh.
So my thoughts are we play this at least to like the 6-7 mark in our 10 for 10. If we finish it out, great.
Sure.
But I would like to make sure we get the expansion if it comes this year.
Is that coming in 2025?
I hope so. I'd like to see what else he does. Mm-hmm. And it's sparked that we need to get to Arboreus sooner than later because I like this design.
We've only played it at 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. And it plays up to 4,
Plays up to 4, plays really well.
Yeah.
But Id Factor, I'm at a 4.5. There's very few games on our... I mean, it's on our 10 for 10. There's a few games right now that I'm like, ooh, I want to play that.
Yeah.
And we've been bringing Windmill Valley a few times... And there's been some other newer shinies coming out. I mean, our friendly local game store just got their demo copy of Finspan. That's been going around. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else gets their new shiny, and I get it. We get to play ours quite often. So we have to be nice and charitable. And not charitable, that's not a good word. Copacetic. They played our new shiny one time. We got to play theirs.
Yeah.
So It Factor, I'm at a 4.5. Andrea, what's your It Factor?
I'm a little bit lower. I'm a 4.0 on this one.
So we take the possible total score. Mine was 21.2. Andrea's was 20.5. We divide by the possible total of 25 points to get our final grade. Andrea, for Windmill Valley, designed by Danny Garcia, published by Board and Dice Games, you're at an 82, and I am at an 85.
Nice. I do recommend this if you can get a hold of it.
Yeah. If you like interesting action boards, any interesting action selections, if you like bonus actions, and this is a lighter mid-weight Euro game, there's very little player interaction also. There's no stealing off people's boards. The most you're going to get in the way is at the market. Maybe you go into a stall and it makes somebody pay to go to that stall. Because if a stall's completely clogged up, you would have to pay $1 to a person to like hop on top of their piece and take the action. But that's about the only time somebody takes from you. And it's not taking from you, it's just blocking a spot that makes it cost a little bit more for you. I mean, that's about it.
Yeah.
So if you're somebody that likes a lot of player interaction, there's not a lot there. But that's the only detractor I would say on this game.
Agreed.
That was the one in the 417Gamer podcast. We go
on to the 7.
All right, let's go to the 7. The 7 in the 417Gamer podcast is going to be the 7 questions of the 417Gamer podcast. Matt, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
We had you back on episode 35, and now you've come back for episode 36 to answer the questions. So, where's my questions? I had them. Nope. There we go. Question number 1. What is the earliest game you remember playing, and what was your first hobby game?
I think Monopoly probably is the first game I remember. When I'd stay home from school, I had an uncle that would, stay home, and we would play Monopoly for hours. We had house rules. We had sheets of paper where we'd keep track of the bank. We'd just go on forever. There was no end to Monopoly. We'd get loans, and we'd just play it all day. And I have very fond memories of that. Played a lot of Live too, but Monopoly was.
And I would have said Monopoly too until Leandra and Ben came on the previous month, and she started talking about I don't remember what company did them. The Cooties, the Ants in the Pants, the Don't Break the Ice.
Don't Break the Ice.
I'm like, I do remember that. They're just not as vivid as some of the arguments my sister and I had over Monopoly.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, she hits a hotel, and you're just, I don't want to pay a hotel. Like, that's the rules. You got to pay.
I probably played Don't Break the Ice before Monopoly, I would say, but no vivid memories of it.
I do have memories of hitting the free parking and like, ooh,
yeah.
I get the money from the taxes, and the rules lawyer's like, that's not actually a rule. I'm like, it is in our house. You know why? Because the kid down the street taught me that rule, and that's the way we play. Matt, question number 2: what color do you prefer to play as?
Oh, I didn't get to finish one.
Hobby game.
Oh, sorry, what's your hobby game?
Hobby game was Catan. Settlers of Catan, and only with the I played the base game and loved it, but we got Cities and Knights, and that's the only way I'd ever play the game.
Okay.
And I still love that game with Cities
Never
and
played
Knights.
Cities and Knights.
Oh, see, to me that it's a whole different game, makes it way more replayable,
and we played the crap out of Catan, but we played it to death to where now when we have new friends of the hobby, we're like, oh, I've heard about Catan. I'm like, have you heard of Azul?
See, and I would still play. I still enjoy getting it out. Yeah, I think at Catan in the ice storm we had. We played. That's what we played. We played Catan nonstop during the ice storm.
Yeah.
So
we had her brother got Star Trek Catan.
Yeah.
Found it, and he's like, "Oh, can we play it?" I'm like, "We can." And then we started playing. And he goes, "It's still Catan, isn't it?" I said, "Yes, it's still Catan."
Still Catan.
And he's like, "What else do we have?" And I'm like, "Do you not want?" He's like, "No." He's like, "You're right. We kind of played it." I'm like, I've been told that there are some expansions for regular Catan, Cities and Knights. What are the other ones? There's Traders and Explorers.
Yeah, there's the Seafarers.
Yeah.
And there's several.
There's some people that swear by certain expansions, like they won't play without, like you just said.
Yeah, Knights and Cities.
Knights and Cities.
Yeah.
Now question 2. What color do you prefer to play as?
Red is my color of choice.
Is it?
I don't demand it. I'm happy to, but if somebody else is red, I'm probably going to move your pieces at some point during the game, and I will take it if given the choice.
Is there a color you don't want to play as?
Not really. Probably yellow would be my least favorite. But
yeah, curses at him. Number 3, what style of game do you prefer to play, and what style of game do you shy away from?
Well, I really prefer the most complex mechanics, generally speaking, the heavy Euro type games. Engine builders, it would be for sure my most favorite, I think. Terraforming Mars and Ark Nova. That's the zoo game, right? Ark Nova, yeah. I'm having so that's my favorite. Worker placement definitely is a close second to that. The games I don't really like the Sherlock Holmes type games or the unlocks. I play there's definitely people in my family that want to play those, and I do play them, but when it's mostly just words and thinking, it's like,
as much as you like Cryptid, I figured you'd like those games too.
Yeah, no, that's a little bit different. I don't know that I like Cryptid. I'm not very good at that game, but
you kicked our butts. Number 4, how many games are in your personal collection currently? About an estimate.
Right around 263 is what BGG says.
Uh-huh.
So you're not too far behind us. We're at 350.
Where's the rest of them?
They're in that closet. That's a whole walk-in closet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting to the point. I either have to get another shelf. I'm not very good at culling games, but
it took me a while.
Yeah, I'm finally getting to that point, I think, in the hobby that it's like, you can't keep every single game that you ever loved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm getting close.
And she didn't believe me the first time I did it. I'm like, I'm getting rid of games, and I got rid of 40.
You did.
And then I'm going to do it again. I'm going to get rid of at least 30 by the time we hit June.
Yeah, I haven't played all the ones. And I don't buy games and don't play them, but I haven't yet played all the ones that I bought from you.
Number 5, is there a game that you have not won but you really want to?
I don't really think so. I teach so many games, and, I love winning games, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But winning is not the most important thing to me, so I couldn't really even think. I even looked back through my stats and tried to, and there's probably some I didn't win this year, but it's like that's not really the point. I enjoy teaching way more than I enjoy winning.
Nice.
Well, like TI3 and TI4, I think it was not until my 7th game that I finally won it. I was like, oh, okay, I can win this. I just have to be shiesty about doing it.
Yeah, well, like 4, 5, 6 games of Ark Nova, I don't think I won any of them that I had recorded. So, but I have won that, I'm sure.
She kicked the absolute crap out of me on our last Ark Nova. I think she had like 30 points and I had like 2.
Yeah, and I still love the game. When I get done, I had just as much fun playing it, win or lose. So, yeah.
Nice.
Number 6, what is one piece of advice you'd send back to yourself as you were just getting into this hobby?
That would be to join the community quicker.
Yeah.
It took me a while. I had my friends and got started, but 417Gamers has been such a great, so many people, so many events. I've made so many friends, and I didn't even need more friends, but you just keep getting them, and the game nights and the con, and honestly, join the group sooner because there's no reason to wait.
We brought so many people together. Friend groups, different game groups, D&D groups, couples.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple kids that we can be blamed for that have come along. There's a couple breakups that we can be blamed for.
Yeah. Hey, it all happens. It's all live.
It does.
Doing it with friends and fellow gamers and getting to learn new games and teach games. And there's just so many benefits. It's been great.
And then last but not least, what are your 7 favorite games? You can either go all time, you can go current, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I struggle with that. I think I'm just gonna go the all time,
all right,
just to get it out there.
Number 7.
Number 7 would be Catan, Settlers of Catan, with Cities and Nights only. Like I said, that adds a whole nother mechanic. Instead of just having the development cards, you have actually 3 different tracks that you can go up, and adds different commodities instead of just the base resources. So it really makes the game way better.
Sure.
Number 6.
Number 6 is Scythe. That I've just enjoyed that game so much. I don't play it as much as I want to, but it's
careful if you get the app.
Yeah, is it good?
It's pretty good, and even if you put the computer on medium or hard, you still go through and you can get a game in about 20 minutes.
Wow.
Or less.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
But it's got such a great table presence. I enjoy
does.
teaching it. It's actually easy to teach. It's it's one of those that's fairly easy to teach, way hard to master and figure it all out, but it's just been a great game.
Nice.
Number 5.
Number 5, I put Brass Birmingham, one of the the you can't do that game is what they call it. It's challenging. It's trains and canals. It's driven by a hand of cards that dictate what you can build and where. You have to build different factories that can produce things. You have to build the rails or the canals to deliver them, and it's just very interactive. You're competing for resources. You can make resources that other people are going to use. I love the mechanic of the cards and choosing the action. Every game's different. It's challenging. I like it.
Number 4.
Number 4 is Castles of Burgundy. Stefan Feld is one of my favorite designers. One of the ugliest games, although I did just get the special edition, which is beautiful.
Yes, it is.
The original is ugly, but it still is just one of my favorite mechanics of all time. You roll 2 dice. The dice determine what your actions, so out of your action selection, and that is just a favorite mechanic. I don't like dice for just like randomizing like chance games. I mean, I don't like to play dice, but using dice to randomize what actions are available out of a group of actions, to me, is just a great way to make a game replayable and just enjoyable. So.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Viticulture. Making wine has been, I've played that so many times. It plays so many people, and it's great.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, we like it. It's on our 10 for 10 this year. For our first game of the year, we went all the way down to the base essentials. Just played with just the 2 season board, 2 player. And at 2 players, when you don't get those bonuses off of them, it makes you a little sad. Number 2.
Number 2 is Ark Nova, one of the best engine building zoo games, tile laying, card drafting. Just a wonderful game. It's complex, but building your own zoo is so much fun, and seeing the animals, the art, and the science, and it has been very enjoyable.
Yeah. And then your number 1.
Number 1 is Terraforming Mars, which is similar to Ark Nova, but an engine building, card drafting game with Mars as the theme. Terraforming Mars.
Yeah,
very good.
Absolutely.
That was the 7 questions. Matt, thank you for coming back on.
Thanks for having me back. It was fun.
All right. We will see you guys back April 10th for the next episode. If our schedules align, we'll have David Stanfield from Tremendicon on, hopefully. But until then, we'll see you later. Keep gaming in the 417. Goodbye.
Bye.
The 417 Gamer podcast is recorded and produced by Andrea and Rick Bagwell. The intro music we use, Kind, Gentle, Beautiful Person, and the outro music, Making Up for Lost Time, was created by Origami Reptica. For links to our show notes, the music, and guest links, head over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Hobby Gaming Network. Until next time, keep gaming in the 417.